Hello, everyone. Um, I mentioned this graphic novel yesterday on my stream. If you were here, it's pretty much overlooked. I haven't heard anything about it in years. I had it on my Comixology for a while. I had the actual comic. I must have had it years ago. I think it was one of those graphic novels that they had, a little larger size. Um, it's a hell of a piece of work. You read it, and there's nothing about Tom DeFalco's career that prepares you for something like this. Then he writes, "Hey, John, how's it going, man?" Um, it's a hard-hitting graphic novel. It really is. It's something very different for him and even John Buscema, who are mainstream, pretty safe. But here they deal with a pedophile, Wolverine hunting him down, and he's being protected by the government. Um, on this cover, it can go two ways. Either it's Patch or it's Nick Fury's eye patch. I'm not crazy about the cover. It doesn't reflect the art inside at all. The art inside is penciled and inked. Hey, Flatey. The art inside is penciled and inked by the great John Buscema. But let's just, I just want to show the cover because it's there, but let me just move on. It's called Wolverine Bloody Choices. Um, it says 2018, but I think that's only when it showed up on Comixology. I think it was the 90s, probably the 90s. And again, it's something that very different for Tom DeFalco. I'm actually shocked that he wrote it because of the subject matter. But it's damn good. Ralph Macchio, 1991, I guess around there. Oh wow, it's a graphic novel. Happy's Funhouse. I would recommend you reading it on your own and not reading it this way. I would recommend that Happy's Funhouse. It's just better off that way. Every comic should be experienced, I think, by you in your own mind and your own hands. Just at your own pace, taking it in. I like doing this because I've read all these books, every single one that I review here. Clearly, I've read them, reread them. This is again, it's a strong piece. Um, a man called Plush whistles to DeFalco, Buscema, Wolverine, strap in, boys, girls. That's the thing, DeFalco. He was always a competent writer, sometimes really good, fun. His Spider-Man run with Ron French is great. The Thor, but it's a little different here. This is pretty heavy. And again, all things considered, where we are and what is considered today to be untouchable, at least in the UK, in terms of rape gangs and whatnot, and these savages. But here, and I know you're not supposed to say that word here. I don't, you know, I think it's stupid when they say RAP and they do this and they play along with the censors. Don't play along, guys. Don't play along. They'll ban me. They'll ban me. I don't know what to say about that. I'm just not going to submit to their bullshit language. Things are what they are. We should call them what they are. That's it. Hey, Salty. How's it going, man? Thanks, Beardy, guys. Always appreciate your company. So I'm going to go through this. It's a little lot longer than most of my reviews because this is about 60 pages, almost 3 comics. But and then I want to talk about the death of YouTuber quote unquote comics as well. It's a good thing that's happening. I think eventually these absolute 100% grifters will be pushed out, and only the best will be there because again, it's not a good thing to have these pieces of shit who want to cash in on this medium that I love, that the Comics 8 Kings love, that Comics 8 in general loves. It's a great medium. It should be reserved for those who really give a damn, not for pieces of shit, these whores who just want to cash in on this great medium. So here we go, guys. Okay. Let's see. Kamehameha, the Great United, the Great Kamehameha, the Great united the Hawaiian Islands in 1810. Sorry, guys. I don't know what the hell that was. I guess it's a Hawaiian name, so difficult as hell. I wonder what the old boy would think about the way the natives honor his memory. He'd probably like it, after all. A successful king knows the importance of the bottom line, and a good festival is good business. It's also a dazzling kaleidoscope of sights and sounds and smells, especially when you're born with hyped up senses like mine. So this is a direct narration by Wolverine Good, because we were reading Daredevil the Man Without Fear was it was like a Miller's narration, uh, and so on. Okay, I'm a man on holiday, totally without a care in the world. At least that's what I want to believe, until I'm suddenly kidney punched by a scent which is all too familiar and quite unexpected considering the surroundings. Yeah, there's something is an interesting little side thing in this comic. It's not the main thing, but it's something that is more or less unresolved also at one point. All right, guys, cool. I'm going to read some more comments. A man called Plush. Joke's on you. My favorite Disney song is Savages, Pocahontas. Flady1 says, just finished DD, Cold Day in Hell, like the story and layout, but art style, not what I would have envisioned or preferred. Flady, I think, what's his name? McNiven was clearly going for Elektra Lives Again, the graphic novel that Frank Miller and Lynn Varley did, where beautiful layouts, design work, color, and all that, with at times questionable detail, like in faces and stuff. So when you want to borrow someone's style, at least try, if you're going to do that, don't borrow the bad stuff. Because, Miller fucked up, Matt Murdock's face in that number of times, also Electra's. It's like, what the hell is this? And then it's like, whoa, okay. Then he blows you away with some of the, layouts and the architecture of Matt's home and all that, and the city. And then it's like, oh shit, that Matt is not that Matt. Completely different hairdo, completely different nose, face, everything. So he shouldn't have done that, but I think that's what he was doing, unfortunately. But yeah, it is a good comic. I do like it in terms of, again, I will always be on the lookout. I'm still on the lookout, guys. I still have this maybe naivety that I go into a comic book store every so often. Every week? Absolutely not. Every so often, I walk in there. Sometimes I come out with the gold. Sometimes I come out with nothing. And most time I come out with nothing. So, but yeah, great. No, good compared to today's comics. Absolutely. Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell. Absolutely. And I got the Hush also, the first one. I just want to see Batman look pretty cool at times through Jim Lee's art. I'm not crazy about him at times. I'm really not, a little too stiff, but it's better than what I've seen of Batman the last few years, at least when I peek in. So I'm getting that as well, but not as good as that. And I'm still waiting for Roberto Della Torre to return to Conan. I will definitely get that. Comic books in cahoots, gray splash page, yeah. Okay. Kamehameha. Thanks, a man called Plush. Kamehameha. Thank you, man. I was like, what the hell? I said it 3 times, botched it completely. You must have been like, ugh, goddamn ear sore. But I do appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to continue and chime in when you want. And if you want to discuss after this, the debacle that is the yellow shit, release, launch, let's go for it. It's well deserved. Well deserved. I imagine what he anticipated, what he thought, and what he got. It's worth talking about, so we can do that after this. I just think this is something rare. I don't know how many of you have actually read this. I read it a few times. And again, it's just a strong piece, strong storytelling from DeFalco and Buscema. And the art is just, to me, it's fantastic. He's such a naturalist. He's such a natural artist. Again, it reminds me of, like, if I were to think about it, like a Gene Hackman, like you never saw him act. You never saw this guy really put too much effort. And I'm not saying he's hacking it out. No, he makes it look effortless. That's how good he is. That's how good he is. Man called Plush says eBay is a treasure trove for comics. Got some Kaluda's The Shadow. I've gotten some good stuff from there as well. Definitely. Some old comics that you can't find anywhere else. I got what's his name? I had Simonson's Ragnarok comics and on Comixology, gone. Volume 1 and 2, gone. No longer in their library. No longer in my library, which is unfair. I paid for them. So I had to get the physical copies, which I got on eBay. And some of them have gone, literally, guys, for $5,000. $5,000. I was like, holy shit. I had to spend, I believe, $70 for one of them. But let me go on. Next page, I think. Okay. There's no mistaking the sharp, bitter aroma of fear. He makes a mean Wolverine too, Buscema. Really, really well drawn. You know, he drew Wolverine for a few years also. You know, he had a good run on there. Marvel Spotlight to the Wolverine series itself. A lot of different inkers. Never better than when he inked it. Al Williamson did a few issues here and there. Really good job. Sienkiewicz inked some, not as good. They really clashed. He's a natural, simple artist. You know, Sienkiewicz was trying too much scratchy shit on there. Way too much. Didn't quite work. But anyway. Okay, so Wolverine says, it doesn't take a Sherlock Holmes to spot the source. He's just a kid. And the bulge in his pocket ain't no computer game. In any sane world, he'd be much too young to know anything about terror or guns. But nobody accuses this world of being insane. A smart man would just mind his own business and keep walking. Yeah, right. With a slight limp, he heads straight for the outdoor patio of a local eats place. With a slight limp, he says. That's noteworthy. It barely takes him a minute to zero in on the table. The wolves are growling at my door, Mr. Capeland. I trust that you can negotiate a favorable settlement. That is my intention, Mr. Bullfinch. Might as well be Obama, this character. And the more we go on, the more you'll realize that. Not just because of the way he looks, but he's a piece of shit. Sleazy fuck. However, we may be forced to forego certain short-term benefits in order to arrive at an appropriate arrangement. I love how writers write these scumbags using legalese and all that. This overly proper language. And this is Wolverine again. Every individual has a unique scent as distinctive as a fingerprint. Something about that guy in the center sets something clawing at the inside of my brain, like the shadow of some distant memory. Of course, you know, look at him. It's Wolverine with a slight side mustache. Just then, the wind shifts. Again, Wolverine. I want to see something here, guys. Give me 1 second. I think I can pull this up a little more, get a little more on the screen. Let me make me a little smaller. Okay. Just then, the wind shifts, and I get smacked with still another distinctive odor. Seems there is an additional player in the game. That's when the kid makes his move. He's shooting at that table, a little kid, with a gun. Oh my God, the guy says. Stay cool, Mr. B. It's only a little fly buzzing around the table. Consider him swatted. That guy was about to murder that kid. Yeah, I know he's shot, but I think he knows why also. Why he shot. Wolverine says, fast. He strikes with the speed of an angry cobra. Arf, the kid. I barely managed to reach the kid in time. The knife rips through his arm instead of his heart. Get in the limo, boss. Move, move. We'll cover you. You see the way that guy dove for that kid? He was in the air before the bullet hit the table. Yeah, he ain't no simple tourist. That word, guys, tourist. I was called tourist again by that piece of shit, Renowned Zero. And I've been called every name in a book. It's hilarious, man. The coping that's going on with Yellow Shit's comic, it's delicious, flat out. It really is. But let me go on, guys. And I'll read your comments after. There don't seem to be any casualties, but the situation down there, they're whispering, okay. But the situation down there is totally out of hand. Ain't nothing we can do now. Let the locals handle it. Good action here. Just the movements from there to the couple there to Wolverine dodging bullets with that kid. I never intended to spend the day running from gunfire. He's on vacation, but from the look of things, I'd better get used to it. Yeah, the guy's eyeballing him. Could be a brother. Nurse says, oh man, look at that kid. Whips. How well do you know this child, Logan? Just met him, sister. His body is covered with scars and welts. Bullfinch do this? Yes. The monster still has Paulo, my brother. Not for long. Look at this guy. Again, you know, Buscema, master of anatomy, movement, even standing. These simple stances here, there's power in there, elegance, grace. You don't see that in many artists. It's a lost art in a lot of ways. It's not good, man. Not good to have this stuff not be the regular norm for mainstream comics. That should be the standard. But I'm glad we had him anyway. So this doctor says, well, what have we here? Most folks think old Doc Corbell runs his little clinic on the northern end of, I gotta fuck it up again, I know it, Oahu, out of the goodness of his heart. He's really a major sleazebag who douses himself in lime-scented aftershave so that he can't smell his patients. He also makes a bundle, treating those who can't deal with the questions about their injuries. A really nasty cut, young fella. This should help you sleep. 1,000,000 or so years ago, the doc and I did a lot of business together. I need you to watch him for a few days. Playing the white knight can get a mite costly, my friend. The doc's right. There's a whole world full of pain and misery out there. The price is too high to try to help everyone, so you make choices. Something's waiting for me back at my hotel. Man left you an envelope. Yeah, no big surprise. Inside's a brand of cigar I know well, and a warning. Yep, a wise man keeps his nose out of other people's business. You know what that is, guys? Treating cigar, treating cigar and warning with exactly the same difference. I set fire to both. My mind's full of questions, but the libraries are closed. So I visit an information center, which isn't listed on any tourist guide. What'll it be? Beer and chatter for a chaser. We sell drinks here. Yeah, and supermarkets sell canned peas. But that don't stop 'em from pushing toilet paper. True enough. Doesn't look like your friend got your message. Never thought he would. Word has it that Bullfinch owns a fleet of freighters and has interests in a few other businesses on the side. The night is warm and balmy. I slip into something more comfortable and enjoy a midnight swim. Puts on that classic suit that burn design, which was, to me, his best suit, hands down. I know people pretend to like the yellow and blue. It's just such a stupid color scheme for Wolverine. Bright yellow, light blue. Again, artists can make it look good in that. They did make it look good in the movie, all things considered, but this is the one. That bold red belt. I think I must have thought about that when I made, the pigskin leather belt for Pigman, a big, thick belt with the American flag and, beige and brown. And it looks cool as hell. Um, Hill, Mikey. How's it going, man? Hill, Jimmy. Man called Plush says, I got a steal for a double novel reprint of the Living Shadow pulp novel. Very cool. Yeah, comic books and who's that kid's expression is really good. Yeah, he's a master, especially when he gave a damn. You could tell he gave a damn here. He put in the work. He knew this was a story that he clearly wanted to draw, something a little harder than his usual fare, something that he can say, okay, I was telling a story about some really evil scumbags that got to be hunted down, not just your average supervillain. Um, yeah, Jimmy says Taurus Sturgis needs to understand who he's insulting. Yeah, he also says he also assumes, of course, because he's an idiot, or willfully ignorant, that Pigman just came out now, and Comicsgate and the Kings are just backing it now. It's Pigman's 20 years old, over 20 years old, over 20 years old. 2009 was his first print appearance. 2005 was his first appearance at the Comic Con in San Diego 20 years ago. He's been around for a long time. He's been in a few books of mine besides Propaganda, my comics, and some of my Muhammad books where he's punching Muhammad. So cheers, Steve. Let me go on, guys. Hope you guys can see it clearly here. Okay, good. It's on the nice. The reason why I put it on the other screen on the actual Comixology thing is because I can actually, you guys can see my pointer. You can't see it the other way. I learned that. The gentle rocking of the ocean and the distant rumble of the surf put me in a real peaceful frame of mind. The crew seems deeply engrossed in conversation. Guys, this is just all really well drawn stuff here. Even these guys here, even these three guys just hanging out talking. The work, the shadow, the line work, the clothes, the wrinkles on the clothing. It's all fantastic. The ocean, that ship. I mean, this everything here, just damn good. He had a little different mask. Usually goes closer to the eyes. That cut, but he brings it a little higher. It's a little different than some of the other artists, which is fine. And he also has the mask go a little above his nose, not fully covering it. But the names Turner, Barkin, and Roberts drift in the air. I'm more interested in the physical attribute of the ship's hold, and it doesn't take me long to reach it. A quick pop of my trusty adamantium claws reveals coffee beans. I breathe in the coconut fragrance of pure Kona, but it doesn't mask the real prize, cocaine, or as Twin Montana said, cocaine. And then Nick Paul says cocaine, which is like, did you watch the movie, Nick? Cocaine. Anyway, so he pops it in there, sees that it's cocaine buried under the coffee. Nice of y'all to join us, bro. I had me a hunch you'd be dropping by. I suppose I should go through the motions and interrogate y'all, but why bother with a hard case like you? The accent's all wrong, but something haunts me about the sound of his voice. He feels it too. We met before today, haven't we? Well, it don't matter none. We won't meet again. Kill him. You know, these are the I love these faces that Buscema does. Romita did that sometimes for the gangsters in the issues of Spider-Man. Sal Buscema did it also for some of the thugs in the comics of True. But look at that. Look at that side face. Look at that bottom lip. Look at these guys' expressions. Love it. All the handwork is also fantastic. Everything just looks rock solid. And again, guys, this whole musculature of Wolverine, you know, these really nice, boom, indentations up, down, curved, really showing off the musculature. It's really important. In silhouette, that would really work. And he makes him stocky as hell also. Look at that. You know. Look at that. I don't know how good these gunmen are supposed to be. I don't much care. You know, look at that. A classic comic book punch out right there with great muscles. I just want to get across the room and have a nice friendly chat with their leader. But something tells me he's got other ideas. As he takes his leave, I debate the merits of following him. Why bother? I'm sure he's already prepared for that particular contingency. But not this one. Boom! He slashed through the side of the ship. He's getting away. That's the least of our problems, man. Yeah, nothing like a refreshing dip in the ocean to put everything in perspective. The night's still warm when I reach dry land, but a certain distinctive odor has been added to the tropical fragrances. Got an extra stogie, Nick? Yeah, sure. Be my guest. You're getting a little ostentatious for a spy boy, Fury. Or didn't you know there's a shield emblem plastered on your jacket? Look who's talking. You ain't exactly a poster boy for Brooks Brothers either. Nick Fury. Love the way Buscema draws him. Real hard case. Besides, my undercover days are over. My mug's been plastered across the cover of Newsweek more times than I can count. I got as much hope keep my identity a secret as you did when you used to disguise yourself with that stupid eye patch. Now look who's talking. Mine's real. I want to know your interest in Bullfinch. So much for social amenities. The least you could do is spring for a few brews. You're the one with an expense account. Sure, but go easy. You don't want to go adding to Uncle Sam's deficit. And, check this out, guys. They walk in a bar. Looky here, squirrel. Somebody must have got lost on his way to the pineapple parade. You got a lot of brass coming in here dressed like that, runt. Starts to mess with his mask. Who you supposed to be? A cheap imitation of the Bat Guy? Wolverine. He goes, ha. He goes, nah, sorry. Nah, I'm just a darker, grittier version of the Easter Bunny. Here's an egg for you. Boom. That was pretty funny, Moose. When are you going to kill him? Moose? That's funny. Look at that build also. Again, rock solid, big muscles. His legs, he looks like a soccer player, with those big muscular legs. And he makes him short, which is Wolverine's supposed to be. And look at that. Even the way he's sitting there in his hand, and it's just fantastic. It's really, really well done. Interesting color also. It's like, this is when I think Marvel, did they just begin to do some of that computer coloring? I believe so. That's what it looks like to me. Jimmy says, thank God Wolverine's heightened senses did not find the Yaira and young Isom statues. Comic Book Sync says, the action is explosive. Yeah, he can't wait to explode on these things. And good. Look, he's good at everything. Buscema, he's good at the mundane, offices, people talking in restaurants, whatever, but then he just lets loose. And you can tell he loves them both. I mean, look at this. He's giving as much as he is to the action scenes, which is awesome. I think he was underrated, believe it or not. I mean, for all the praise he gets, I think he was underrated. I think people trashed him also, like the pieces of shit at the Commie Journal, formerly known as the Comics Journal, where you got the communists in there trashing mainstream comics. Why? Because that to them is a form of capitalism. Marvel and DC, that's capitalism. Independent comics is the man, is not the man, sorry. The man is Marvel DC, but is the workers. That's the real one. No, dummies. Without Marvel and DC, there is no Comics Journal. It wouldn't have existed ever. You need that, you idiots. And then you can have, the independents. Because without comic shelves, without that, I mean, we're lucky now to have Comicsgate, and crowdfunding, but still, prior to that, you needed Marvel and DC to be healthy as hell in order for all the independent companies to be able to go into the stores that Marvel and DC held up. But anyway, okay, this is when it gets a little explicit here in terms of Wolverine and what he's looking for, and what Fury says to him. It gets heated, guys. Is a real problem they have as the story goes on, and you'll see. Nick Fury says, you sure got a real friendly way about you, pal. Yeah, it comes from dealing with scum like Bullfinch. The guy's a child molester. You got proof? Fury asks him. Enough for me. Fury says, S.H.I.E.L.D. is on him for using his ships to move product for a Far East drug cartel. And we're about to score a major bust. He's about to pay for his crimes. All of them. I can guess how you must feel, pal, but I want you to back off for now. I'll think about it. Thanks for the beer. Wolverine says, I almost trust him. Fury's about as straight as they come, but he's still government issue. I love that. I like the wisdom also there from DeFalco to understand that enough to put it down on paper, because he's like, he's still government. No matter what, no matter our past, no matter the fact that I know he does good work, he's still the goddamn government. And look at this also. Look at that stance. The mask, just really good work there, man. And great inking. Again, he inked this all. No one inked Buscema better than Buscema, nobody. I think he even would have inked himself better than Terry Austin, because Terry Austin, I think, would have broken up a little too much, added too much of that choppy ink dot detail to get away from this elegance. Just damn good. Walking along the pier, I keep seeing that kid's face, so young and full of fear. Images of another kid filter in, a wild boy who grew up untamed and fearless. relying only on his own feral instincts, simply because his mutant body contained a healing factor which could cure an injury. They played on that. It was an early issued 9 or 10, I don't know which one it was, 11, maybe 15, I'm not sure. I think it was a Jim Lee cover, and Buscema drew the interiors of Wolverine. Whether it was a real official telling of his origin or not, surrounded by Wolverines, if not raised by them. Sounds hokey. Could have been some kind of fever dream. I don't remember that exactly, but I remember it was drawn beautifully. I do remember that. So here we go. So here he is thinking. Excuse me. If you heard that, apologize. My phone just came alive for some reason. And then he's smoking, he's thinking it over. He breaks a cigar. Sorry, Nick. I owe this to the children. The trouble now, the children. Most of the time when people invoke the children, they're piece of shit scumbags like politicians and these rat fucks who hate Israel and side with their enemies, who want to cry about the children. And they don't cry about the children who were slaughtered by Hamas. They don't cry about those children. They just use it as a cover for supporting evil. But here, in this context, Wolverine means it. He actually means it. And those who actually want to care about the children would want Hamas obliterated. But let me go on. Thanks for being here, guys. Again, as always, thank you. Just post away as we go along. Any commentary about this, I'd love to hear it, because I think it's just fantastic. It's a damn good Wolverine story, and it's well told, and again, a subject matter that deals with I don't know. I mean, Miller dealt with it in the last comic that I reviewed, actually, the Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. A whole ring of these sex traffickers of children, boys, girls, everything. And that was, again, what was it, guys? That was also about the same time, 1991. This is also 1991. What was it about that time that they were willing to go there? And now when we have this, vicious thousands and thousands of victims in the UK by these Muslim rape gangs, and there's nothing about that. There's something wrong with that. Unbelievable. And it's not limited to the UK. That's just right now, that's what we know about. I know it's probably all across Europe and clearly all across the Islamic world as well. But anyway, the trouble with being king is that everyone knows where to find you. Same goes for being the local drug lord. Bullfinch's estate is built like a fortress with all the very latest and high-tech laser-driven security devices. I try not to yawn as I quickly slip past them. It's hilarious. I noticed the perimeter guard dragging his feet, looking like a man in need of a good night's sleep. So I accommodate him, knocks him out. Sweet dreams, bub. As I near the house, two unexpected scents suddenly whisper to me. A hint of lime, underscored by the harsh residue of stale cigar smoke. Come here often, sailor. I knew you wouldn't leave it alone. I promised a young friend that I'd find his brother. Can't it wait until after the bust? Cocaine ruins thousands of lives we could save. The kid may not have the luxury of time. I'm the one who's wearing the shield jacket, so it's my call. You can't stop me, Nick. I love that. I love that from Wolverine. He's like, yeah, whatever. I got this kid who's in danger, and I'm going to try to save him. I don't give a shit about your schedule or your badge. Oh man, look at this, guys. A scream crashing out the window. It's the kid I rescued earlier, the one who should be safe and comfy in Corbell's clinic. Look at this. By the time I reach him, he's passed beyond all pain, all fear. I wasn't much help to him. Never even bothered to learn his name, but I can do better for Paolo. All bets are off, Fury. Yeah, count me in. Love that. Fury can't help it. He's like, fuck, man, look what they did to that poor kid. I gotta join my friend here and rip these bastards apart. And again, look at the power of that pose there. Wolverine, and again, out, in, out, boom, boom. The musculature is just, it's fantastic. The handwork, everything about this is power. Yeah, count me in. He goes, intruders have breached the estate. Take them down. Stupid fools are only wasting their ammunition and their lives. He's killing these guys left and right. Logan, look out. Bogies are rushing you from behind, but this stun grenade ought to keep them off your tail. Boom. We're under attack. Pray it's the drug enforcement authorities and not the cartel. We can always negotiate with the government. Yeah. Think about that. These scumbags. We can always negotiate with the government because they know that they're corrupt, counting on it. I have no intention of dealing from a position of weakness, Mr. Capeland. I expect you to provide us with sufficient time to escape, my friend. If it is the police, I will pay a substantial bonus as well as all legal expenses. If it isn't, you have my full authorization to take whatever steps you deem necessary. I understand, Mr. B. Come, Mr. Capeland, my private helicopter awaits. I try to prepare for every contingency. Bullfinch, I'm coming for you. Wolverine just wants him dead. He just killed that kid. He did that. One second. Jesus. Hurry up, Mr. Bullfinch, hurry. We will delay liftoff until the last possible moment. My associate is a most valuable asset, and I am loath to abandon him unless I am personally at risk. Bullfinch? You just missed him, bro. He's on the roof. While this is a really well-made comic, the letters leave a little to be desired here. Look at this. That's really bad. Give a goddamn little breathing room. Look at this. The letters are hitting the top of the panel. That sucks. Not good. I know you call it nitpicking, but goddamn it, it's good everywhere else. Why not here? It's terrible. He's on the roof. You might still catch him now. Could it have been that DeFalco wrote some extra hard stuff? Maybe. I doubt it though, and then they had to edit it out. I don't know. I don't think so. He's on the roof. You might still catch him if you move quick enough. What about you? Little old me? Well, bro, I could be a serious problem. Check this out. I see him tense for a lunge and try to convince myself that I could have easily dodged it. I deliberately take his first 2 punches. It's a ploy to gauge his strength and assess his battle prowess. Unfortunately, he tasked me with all the gentleness of a pile driver, and I have no choice about avoiding the third. That's very good. It's very well put from DeFalco. Great action movements also. Putting it all in there with his full body from his legs right to his fist. From his feet to his legs to his fists. You're a disappointment, bro. He keeps calling him bro. I thought you'd be a mite tougher. I am. Boom! Up close and personal, I can no longer ignore the haunting familiarity of his scent. It drills into my head like a spike, evoking half-formed memories and demanding fearful answers. Who are you? Where did you come from? What's your name? It's Shiv. Shiv! Boom! Looks like he comes from his jacket, not from his forearm like Wolverine. And it looks like it's poison also. Something dirty's in there. And I bet you can guess why. Careless. He left me scrambling in the dirt like a rookie chasing after his first curve in the majors. Really good color here. Really good color. Very strong. I am so pleased that you could join us, Mr. Shiv. I trust that you have already eliminated the cause of our current stressful situation. I do believe so. The big fish apparently escaped by helicopter, sir. What charges do you wish to level against these citizens? We'll start with the accessory to murder. Accessory to murder. That's bogus, man. We'll make bail by morning. Maybe so, friend, but it's going to be a long night. Looks like my bust has gone sour. How you doing? Gonna live? Probably. See? I can't buy a break. At least you'll be out for the duration. Hilarious. He goes, yeah, right. It's the second time he said, yeah, right. I can feel Fury's eyes boring into me as they load me into the waiting ambulance. He should know better. Fury kills the next few hours doing whatever lawmen do at crime scenes. Me, I just sit back and let my mutant healing factor do its thing. What the? Climb aboard, partner. In case you didn't realize it, we're working this case together. Hello out there. How's it going? Yep, comic books and who's the industry had balls back then, yeah? This is a mainstream graphic novel from Marvel. A man called Plush says, I think I'd almost feel sorry for a gang of traffickers encountering Punisher, Fury, and Logan. Christ, yeah. Especially the Punisher. I mean, Wolverine would kill him without a second thought. Fury will have second thought because he's a government agent. In the end, Punisher would just kill them all. If he can save some of the innocents, of course he would. He doesn't do that. Both Wolverine and him would just tear this place apart. After unleashing a few thousand rather colorful expletives, Fury finally accepts the inevitable and invites me to the local S.H.I.E.L.D. hangout. The advantage of working with a worldwide law enforcement agency like S.H.I.E.L.D. is that you get access to every piece of sophisticated hardware known to man, and plenty of unknown ones as well. Nothing. Oh, this fancy junk, and we're turning Jack on Bullfinch and his copter. Figures. Okay, wise mouth. You got a suggestion on how we should go about tracking him down? I usually rely on instinct, intelligence, and plain old perseverance. That's real helpful. Maybe I ought to get some computer jockey to try and program that into these babies and... Yeah? You don't say. Looks like your perseverance paid off. What do you mean? That was Capelin, the lawyer. Bullfinch wants to make a deal. See, that's not Wolverine's way at all, and he won't have it. And look at this, just this walking scene showing the S.H.I.E.L.D. Headquarters there, and this makeshift one. It's awesome. The movement on both. They're arguing. You could tell by their body movement. How do you plan to play it? I don't know. It depends on what he wants. What's the matter? Don't you trust me? Sure. About as much as you trust me. Here's a piece of shit, Capelin, the lawyer for the known pedophile scumbag, drug lord. Mr. Bullfinch is willing to reveal everything he knows about the cartel. We are talking distribution routes and the names of custom officials on the payroll. In exchange, he asks only for total immunity from any criminal prosecution. Does that include the murdering of and molestation of children? Wolverine asks. Logan! Fury shuts him down. Colonel Fury, I must ask if your associate is here in any official capacity. No, he's merely an interested observer. Then I strongly suggest that he refrain from any further comment. Jesus Christ. You can't agree to this deal, Nick. You can't let Bullfinch walk after what he's done. I've got to consider the larger picture. Check out this right here. The anatomy, the movement, the gesture, that guy's look, Fury, holding strong up in his face. The cartel is killing kids by the thousands. The drugs they supply are helping to destroy the very foundation of our country. I really don't have a choice here. That's pure bull. You always have a choice. You just don't have the guts to make the right one. Nice. I love when these master artists also know when to pull back and just have a white background. Boom. Focus on the bodies. Focus on the details there. I love that. Yeah, masters know how to do that well. They know when to pull back. This entire island served as a Japanese internment center during World War II. That was one of the most shameful episodes in the history of our government. It only seems appropriate that they stash Bullfinch here. What's that crack supposed to mean? We've heard all the rumors, Colonel. I've got 3 kids at home, and I think castration's too good for scum like him. Keep your opinions to yourself, Sonny. I don't care how you feel about him personally. Just do your job and help me protect him. That clear? Yes, sir. He had to be extra strong there, Fury, because there's a part of Fury who wants to do the same exact thing. But he's like, fuck. My superiors are telling me, we got to keep him protected. I think that's why I snapped at him, because he wants to do the same exact thing. And look at the way he draws him. The way Basima draws this piece of shit. Mr. Capelin has already received the necessary paperwork and informs me that you have the blessing of your superiors. Yeah, the deal is going down exactly like you said. There's just one more stipulation, Colonel. Listen to this. I would like to have your personal assurance, your word as a gentleman, that you will guarantee my safety as long as I am in your custody. That goes without saying, Bullfinch. Perhaps, but I sincerely do wish you would say it. All right. I promise. Excellent. I would like to view my accommodations now. Here you go. I hope it meets with your approval. Hardly the plaza, but I expected as much. Mr. Capelin will arrange for a few amenities to make my stay more bearable. Colonel, I understand why a man in your position would feel it necessary to attempt to humiliate me. Don't waste your time. I am not interested in your approval, just your professional expertise. Now that we both understand the ground rules, perhaps we should begin work. Where do you intend to question me? Shield has used this island before. We have a special underground bunker already in place. Be my guest. Most ingenious. I am very impressed, Colonel. That means so much to me. I love the sarcasm. Hey, Grey Wolf. How's it going? Yes, you did. Comic Books and Coots. Buscema literally wrote the book on drawing comics. He did. Him and Stan Lee. And again, he probably did a bunch of drawings, and Stan Lee just, went off as he does. The same thing he did with the Spider-Man comics, where Ditko plotted the bulk of them, and he added the dialogue. And it was a course that I think Basima was teaching. I don't know where he was teaching it, but he was teaching it, and that's when it led to the book. So he was already teaching art, how to draw comics, and then it led to the book. And it's a classic. No matter what anyone tells you, they're going to lie to you. They're going to say it's hackery. They're going to say, like the Comic Journal, same thing, that they called it John Buscema a hack of all artists. And you can say, yeah, well, he did, a whole bunch of pages a day. That's not, yeah, they were great. His worst is better than most, which is crazy, but it's true. Okay. Of course, you do realize that the government is quite a few years behind the cartel in terms of high-tech technology. Huh. Listen to this. Of course, you do realize that the government is quite a few years behind the cartel in terms of high technology. The gross proceeds from the modern drug trade greatly exceed even the most outrageous estimates. He's bragging his fucking scum. The business is so good, why are you quitting? Stress. The constant pressures were beginning to wear on me. I have already amassed a considerable fortune and merely wish to enjoy it. I am a man of extravagant pleasures. Jesus Christ. He keeps rubbing it in. How is the cartel going to react to your retirement? They'll be annoyed at first, but I'm fairly confident that they won't do anything reckless. The cartel won't do anything reckless. The fact that they're a cartel makes them reckless. The fact that he is also. We are not talking about petty thugs bent on revenge. The cartel is composed of highly educated, responsible businessmen. Jesus Christ. Their only interest is the bottom line. Yeah, sure. That's why they butcher people like nothing. They are fully cognizant of the kind of security that I can provide for myself. Revenge just wouldn't be cost effective in my case. It wouldn't be good business. While Fury was busy playing footsie with a slime ball I dropped in on an old friend. I think I understand Wolverine's attitude here, but Wolverine answers to nobody. He answers to himself, especially here when he's on quote unquote vacation. But Fury does answer to bureaucrats. That's his choice, and he hates this guy. Yeah, I think he shut down that guy quick because he had the same thoughts. Just my take. Um, anyway, so this doctor's about to try to do a getaway. He goes, "Going somewhere, Doc? We had a deal, Corbell. Take it easy, young fella. Don't do anything hasty, young fella." He's Wolverine's very old, a few hundred years old, from what I gather. "We can work this out, and forget it, Doc. You already played me for a fool once. Don't try it a second time. You were supposed to safeguard the kid for me. How did he end up with Bullfinch? I don't know. Sure you do. I recognize your aftershave. Why did you deliver him to that monster, Doc?" Jesus. Look at that. Why? Boom. Rips his face. "Bullfinch and I had an arrangement. He supplied other enthusiasts. I helped to supply him." Jesus Christ. "You filthy, disgusting piece of... Wait, don't kill me. I have something to trade for my life." "What could you possibly have that I'd want? You're after the kid's brother, Apollo. I know where Bullfinch used to stockpile his merchandise." I can almost hear Fury laughing as I choke out my response. Talk. In terms of getting information from someone, it was one moment in, what was that movie? 1 second. I gotta find it. It's worth mentioning it, I think. It was a Hugh Jackman movie, and what's that guy? Van Helsing, right? I forget what movie, but there was one scene that was I always got a kick out of. Wolverine's no, Wolverine. Van Helsing is, I guess, interrogating a guy trying to get information, and he says, "What do you say?" He goes, "What do you say to the guy?" He says, "If you kill me," what was it? Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate it. Chat, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Appreciate it, Jimmy. If you could do that, guys, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. Hail, Michelle. Yep. Comic books news. Fuck the Comics Journal. Absolutely. John said that gentleman looks like he shouldn't be trusted. That's for sure. Emerging from the water in moonlight is an excellent image. It really is. It's fantastic. And then there's another one also, I think, later on, or the next page. I forgot which one it is. But okay. Van Helsing tells his zombie type character, but he's smart. At least he can speak. He says, "Tell me why I shouldn't kill you." And the guy's like, he can't think of a reason why Van Helsing shouldn't kill him. I thought that was hilarious. And again, when that's the only moment you can say that's the best part of the movie, you know what kind of movie it is, but I still love that part. He goes, "Give me one reason why I shouldn't kill you." Guys, like, he's about to open his mouth and he can't think of one reason. Like, oh shit. And that's like, here, what could you possibly have that I want? And he gives up this information. He knows where he can secure scum like Bullfinch. And others with that, as he called it, quote unquote, appetite. So Wolverine goes, "If I were a philosopher, I would wonder how the end would ever justify the means if you are always forced to choose between two evils." Again, this is a little, I like this Wolverine that DeFalco wrote. I like him. He's a little more cerebral, a little more conscientious. He's not, I know writers pretend he's some kind of brute. He's not. He's a smart guy. He's very old, very wise. He knows his stuff, and this is what I think DeFalco is really pulling through here. in this great character. One of the greatest modern superheroes. I mean, really is. After all the classics came out, he came out, and he's a great character, a great character. But I'm just a simple man, one who immediately senses movement in the shadows. Seems like I'm not the only one with a grudge against a good doctor. They could be from Bullfinch or the cartel. It doesn't really matter. A smart man would just mind his own business and keep walking. So would a simple one. Some choices are downright easy to make. The moon has not fully abandoned its eternal struggle against the encroaching dawn by the time I reach the island. Excuse me. Does it consciously choose to retreat before the start of day? Or is it merely a creature of instinct, a puppet directed by subconscious primal urges? I wish I knew. Then again, maybe it's better that I don't. Bullfinch's Island, the Isle of Lost Boys. My God. The Isle of Lost Boys, he puts it. A place where dreams, or in this case, nightmares, come true. A sick and twisted playground for a man of wealth and power. Even as I near the cabana where Bullfinch stored his living playthings, my senses race ahead. I know that the building is deserted long before I reach it. The children are gone. Only their ghosts remain. Jeez, look at that. Whew. Oops. Sorry, guys. I think I have been showing you. Sorry, guys. I think I pulled it up a little too much. Apologize. I see now, I believe what you're seeing. I got to pull this back here. I'm sorry about that. Hope it wasn't there for too long in that way, where you missed some of the panels. That sucks, but let me just continue. Only their ghost remains, so look at this. And yet, in my mind's eye, I see them all. Shoulders hunched, faces haunted, permanently wrapped in a fear so tight that every breath requires a major effort. A dark, bestial hunger suddenly flares from deep within me. They must be avenged. Jesus Christ, look at that. Drawn beautifully. This moment and also the words, they will be avenged. Well, well, what have we here? What's the matter, Fancy Pants? Do you have anything to say? No, just something to do. And again, look at that. Awesomely drawn. Look at that pose right there. The leg is wide apart. Very heroic. The hands and back. Very interesting, man. Look at this. The line work again. The like canines on bottom as well, not just on top. It's wild looking. You know what he did to that guy. Here's Capeland. He goes, incredible. This might have been only a hobby to Mr. Bullfinch, but it also generated a significant share of revenue. Yeah, you seem a mite taken with all these here records. I'm glad you brought it up, Mr. Shiv. It's something I've been meaning to discuss with you. As you know, Mr. Bullfinch fully intends to divest himself of all para-legitimate enterprises. A window of opportunity, therefore, exists for other enterprising entrepreneurs. I had me a hunch that your mind was tracking in that general direction. A man with your particular expertise would certainly be in a position to negotiate a very attractive benefits package. Keep on talking, Mr. Capeland. I like that way you're heading. Oh my God! You hear some screams. What would possess any man to scream like that? What could cause such total terror? A ghost with claws. Make tracks, Mr. K. We'll continue this here conversation later. I'll be with Bullfinch. I just have one last delivery to make. Good luck, Mr. Shiv. Don't need no luck. I got skill. Surprised to see me, Shiv? And at least the way Buscema draws him, whatever connection they have, he's bigger than Wolverine. At least the way he draws him. Look at this. Those guys are, let's just say they're not going to come back. And again, look at this action, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Look at Shiv. His arms, look at his hands, look at his head, where it is, the back. Phew. Fantastic. Yeah, he's a lot bigger. You can tell even more so here. Look at that. Not at all, bro. I figured you for a fast healer. So am I. There's more than a passing similarity between the two of us. Why, we could almost be, don't say it, don't even think it. Boom! I don't know who you really are. I don't care. You didn't exist for me before this all started, and you won't when it's over. That's fine with me, bro. By the time I'm finished here, nothing's gonna exist for you. You hear me? Nothing. Boom! Cuts right through his gut. He could have aimed for my heart. He didn't. Maybe I could have leaped away. Maybe I could have prevented him from tossing me away like an unwanted memory. But maybe I just wanted to see his next move. That's the trouble with life. Too many maybes. This is his chance to escape, to be free of me and the whole sordid affair. But even as I await his decision, I intuitively know the course he'll take. The only one possible to a man like him. I'll kill you. I swear I will. Wolverine's counting on it. And in that instant, my heart screams the truth. The animal instinct which has guided me through all my days rips away the lie. We are not brothers. We never were. Armed with this knowledge, I spring to meet his attack. We are merely two men who share certain physical characteristics and a similarity of lifestyle. The half-formed memories he evoked were merely the maybes, the possibilities, the paths that other, harsher choices might have taken my life. Our speed and stamina may be comparable, our strength and prowess identical. That is the only kinship we share, the only true bond we'll ever know. Fighting him is like battling a darker version of myself. But I have often gone down this particular road. A foul and twisted thing lies beneath my surface. A primal beast who incessantly begs for release. A mindless berserker who revels in fury and lusts for blood. The struggle to control its dark desires, to dominate the demon within, is a never-ending war. Took out his claws there. Broke them right off. Some reason this skipped this. Okay. Look at this. He throws him so hard, even under the water. That's how powerful Wolverine is. I mean, at least this version, in this comic. He cracks his skull right through there. A war that I am dedicated to win, to overcome his the beast within. But sometimes it's great to unleash it on certain scum. You know, if Marvel had some balls, it would have sent Wolverine into the mountains of Afghanistan after 9/11. That would have been an awesome comic. Alas, poor Shiv, he was only a momentary distraction in my own unending struggle. He claimed to be a fast healer. I hope that's true, for his sake. I suppose I could just let him drown, but that's not an option I'm prepared to take. Thanks, bro. Stop calling me that. Yes, sir. You're the boss. God damn it, he wrecked him. We can make a deal. You just cut me loose now. I got something you want. What? Bullfinch and Paulo. Another choice. Another bloody choice. Yep. He keeps letting these scum go to get more information to get to the biggest scum. Heads up, people. We got company. That's Bullfinch's lawyer, sir. The command center has already cleared him for landing. That may be so, Sergeant, but we're going to do this by the book. Search him and all of his goods. I don't want to risk follow-up. But I thought this guy, Stewart, was in charge of that operation. Total autonomy is merely a myth of the lower classes, Colonel. Everyone reports to someone. You don't like me very much, do you? Frankly, I'd rather swim in my own puke than sit here with you. It's good stuff. Crude, but to the point. A man with my sophisticated enthusiasm. Listen to how he puts that. My God, this guy's pushing it. He is pushing it. Crude but to the point. A man with my sophisticated enthusiasm is well accustomed to vulgarities from people of your sort. Listen to what he's saying. My God. And Nick Fury just sits there and takes it without taking him out. Colonel, topside security reports a major violation in protocol. They're real upset, sir. Spill it out, man. What's going on up there? With all due respect, I think you better go see for yourself. All right, I want answers now. What is this? Look at this, guys. I assumed that I had your implied blessing, Colonel Fury. Look at this, guys. This is what evil counts on. They take something and they, of course, make it bigger and bigger and bigger and try to get away with murder. The men are furious. We didn't sign up to babysit no sicko pervert. What's that kid doing here, Capeland? When Mr. Bullfinch asked me to obtain certain amenities for him, I took the liberty of arranging for suitable companionship, guys. This young gentleman is his nephew. Is there a problem, Colonel? You're damn right there's a problem. Psh! A hell of a problem. Colonel, calm down. Don't take it personal, sir. I've had all I can stomach from this overweight, oily piece of crap. Try to restrain yourself, Fury. You're supposed to be a professional. Look at this. Counting on it. Counting on the professionalism of a guy who has to protect this piece of shit. Ah, man. Mr. Capelin may have foolishly stepped beyond the bounds of good taste, but this changes nothing. Don't play the shocked Boy Scout with me, Fury. You knew what you were dealing with. You are still obligated to protect me. Colonel, the ground security perimeter has been breached. Motion sensors report a lone operative. A lone? Well, listen up, people. There's been a slight change of plans. You're pulling out. You are to evacuate immediately. You can't be serious, sir. This ain't no debate, buddy. You know what he's doing, right? He's protecting them from Wolverine. He's protecting his crew. Bullfinch and Capelin stay with me. The rest of you clear out. Get moving. Go, go! Hope you know what you're doing, Fury. Yeah, me too. Good luck, sir. You go along with the others, kid. They'll take good care of you. What's your name? Paulo. Everything's going to be okay, Paulo. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Jesus Christ. Judgment Day, Bullfinch. I don't know what you've gone through in your life before now, but the worst has been paradise compared to me. I swear that you have never seen true hell yet, but it's coming. Yeah, look at this stuff, man. Great. Fury's ditched his men. I was hoping he'd take the hint. I just wish I could sense him among the retreating. Yeah. He was hoping that Fury would do that for his sake. Have you gone mad, Colonel? Have you totally lost your mind? You can't mount an adequate defense without sufficient men. That animal is coming, the one which has been stalking me. The one with the claws? Yeah. He deliberately set off them motion sensors to save lives, the innocent lives of my men. He must have figured that I wouldn't sacrifice them for a sleazebag like you. You promised to protect me. Can you stop him? No guarantee. I'll give you my best shot. That's usually enough. Great shot there. Great. The perspective, the overhead shot. He's going to some danger right there, Fury. You know, he's getting his suit together, whatever he needs to try to put an effort there. Hi, Nick. I was hoping you wouldn't be here. I ain't exactly spinning cartwheels at the sight of your ugly mug either. It's over, Logan. I found Paulo for you. He's already on his way to the hospital on the Big Island. He's safe. Glad to hear it, Nick, but there's still some unfinished business. I'm real sorry that you feel that way. Yeah, so am I. And Wolverine ain't having it. Fury is too much the pro to give anything away. One moment his eyes are begging me to back off, and in the very next, the bent fingers are flashing toward my jugular. Sweet. I roll with a jab, pulling myself out of range, out of temptation. Guarding scum like Bullfinch ain't no job. It's a sentence. Don't turn it into a death sentence, Nick. Last warning, Logan. I'm a walking shield arsenal. Let me do my job. Sorry. Okay. Some of the panels here, god damn it, they used to put arrows on these things. I went from the top to bottom. Apologize. Let me do my job. He goes, guarding scum like Bullfinch ain't no job is a sentence. Don't turn it into a death sentence, Nick. Funny. I was thinking the same about you. Got to give credit where it's due, Wolverine says. S.H.I.E.L.D. designs the most wonderful tricks and toys. A steel restraining cable. What will they think of next? Unfortunately, I have better. Fury doesn't realize how close to the edge he's dancing. I could easily use my claws on him, but that would put me in the same class as Bullfinch. For all his S.H.I.E.L.D. training and combat experience, Nick would just be another statistic to me, another helpless victim. I appreciate the way you've been holding back, pal, but I don't need your stinking charity. I love that. He's a little offended. Nick. Gas. Big mistake, Fury. Maybe your final one. Blinded. Dazed. Barely on the brink of consciousness, I suddenly find myself forced to rely on pure instinct. Ooh. And that's when I'm the most dangerous. Instinct is the realm of the beast, the berserker within. Fury may not exactly qualify as a friend, but he's close enough. I never intended to risk killing him. He's only human, and I never would have gone after him with the same abandon as Shiv. But now, bereft of sight and smell, I am trapped within a cocoon of total darkness. And compassion is an extravagance that I can no longer afford. I put my faith in reflex, in trust, my trust in intuition. I allow the animal to guide me and pray that it does not demand blood. Only then do I perceive a vague sensation of movement to my right. I leap, but my luck is running true to form, all bad. Even as I struggle to keep going, as I strain against my own private black hole, the startling similarities between my current situation and this entire case suddenly come crashing down. From the very start, I believed that I was pursuing a monster, human in form but bestial in nature, a foul and malicious creature of insatiable appetites. And yet every time I near my goal, I can sense that the true meaning of it all is scuttling past me. Hidden within the deep shadows, it sneers at my arrogance and lack of insight. Time and again, it shouts the truth in my face, pleading and begging me to understand. But it escapes in an instant before I can embrace it, evaporating in my arms, as vague and insubstantial as a haunting dream. Like a blinding flash, the revelation unexpectedly burst upon me, drilling into the very core of my being like a jagged harpoon. I suddenly see the driving rationale behind my pitiless quest, the stunning explanation for my relentless hunt for Bullfinch and others like him. And even as the black curtain rises from my mind, my eyes begin to clear. Ambiguous shadows abruptly take on form and substance, and I lash out, not at the true enemy, namely the convenient one. Unfortunately, Nick Fury is no pushover. He pummels me with a power and level of expertise that I have rarely encountered. I love the way they write up Fury here, because he's a badass, but we get to see it in a battle here, hand-to-hand combat. On any other day, the victory might well be his. But on this day, I wear my hard-won knowledge like a suit of impenetrable armor. Coldly, calculatingly, I carefully control the temper of the fight. The animal is firmly in hand. The berserker is chained far below, and I have become an emotionless juggernaut. Wow. Wolverine didn't let loose the berserker here. Mr. Capeland, our association with Colonel Fury is proving to be far less than satisfactory. Releasing his men was an act of irrationality. Perhaps we should rethink our commitment to him. I'm in complete agreement, Mr. Bullfinch. In fact, I have already made alternative arrangements. However, they only apply to myself. Look at these rats all depending on each other. This is the nature of them. The cartel has made me an extremely lucrative offer for an advance copy of your testimony so that they can make the appropriate adjustments to their organization. You have betrayed me? Not at all. I have merely taken the occasion of your imminent retirement as an opportunity to expand my current client base. Business is business. I assume that you were not expecting a formal letter of resignation. The cartel had arranged for a speedboat to be waiting for me at the northern end of this island. I prefer to fly, so it's yours if you can reach it. Why can't I join you in the helicopter? Trust me, you wouldn't like its destination. I advise you to run, Mr. Bullfinch. Your long-term prospects for survival are diminishing with each passing moment. Now that's how you want to see this fucker. That's how you want to see him throughout the entire book. Look at this also again. Look at the leg muscles. Look at everything. The shape of Wolverine hunched over the way he is. It's fantastic. Stay down, Nick. I can't. You ought to know that better than anybody. Yeah, I do. Besides, I got another gizmo for you. A bioelectric zapper. The tech boys designed it special for you super jocks. A devastating whirlwind of pain instantly sweeps across my entire body, blistering me from the inside and out. I was really praying I could spare you, but end it now, Logan. Now while we're both still breathing. The animal within begs me to feed him, to heed him. It wants to run, to cower in the darkness. Interesting. So his inner beast wants to run instead of lash out. I guess it's a moment where he feels like he can be beat. But I am far more man than animal. Back off, Logan. Now, Wolverine has a legitimate problem with that also. It's like, it's not just this running gag of the character. He has that beast within that he has to keep at check, at bay, most of the time. And he unleashes it, at will at times. But he has to remind himself. That's why he has to often say, I am a man, because sometimes, he doubts that. He thinks he's more beast. It's an actual battle within. Back off, Logan. This baby was built to take on the top level masks. You're way out of your league, pal. Maybe so, but I won't stop now. I can't. Why not? Why the hell not? Because I know the truth. An unflattering truth which causes far greater pain than even your most potent weapon. A thug like Shiv may bear a physical resemblance to me, but Bullfinch is my true spiritual twin. Listen to that. We both harbor inner beasts of insatiable and repulsive appetites. Now, I think he's mistaken there. I think he's either Tom DeFalco is going way too far trying to equate them, trying to conflate him and that fucking scumbag. But yeah, I remember reading this. I was like, I don't remember this part actually. Maybe I was like, what the hell? Like Bullfinch, I live for the hunt. He preys upon the innocent, and I the guilty. Yeah, that's a difference, Wolverine. That's a difference, Logan. I need monsters like him to keep my own in check. They give purpose to my life and fill me with hope for a personal redemption. Nick? You still with us, fella? To take a lot more, and you've got to scratch this old warhorse from the race. Glad to hear it. No hard feelings. I gave the man my word. I had to try my best. You did fine, Nick. No one could have done better. Huh. He was beaten. This proud man was beaten. It's a shame that Bullfinch won't be able to thank you in person. No need to hurry, Capeland. You're not going anywhere. I didn't expect to see you so soon. I got a nasty habit of ruining plans like yours. No need to get violent, my friend. After all, I do believe that Mr. Bullfinch is your primary concern. Even as we speak, he is racing toward the northern end of the island where a speedboat awaits. Every second you delay here brings him closer to freedom. If you still intend to catch him, you had best begin an immediate chase. Now, if you will forgive me, I must attend to some other business. My God, this business. I can just guess the type of business a man like Kaplan has already lined up for himself. He hasn't quite reached monster status yet, but he's certainly on the fast track. A smart man would just mind his own business and keep walking. Yeah, right. Boom! Kills him, the pilot, and whoever else is in there. It takes a few dozen years for me to hit the ground. Another century or so passes before my body stops shuddering from the impact. I begin taking inventory of all my internal injuries, but the number climbs so high that I start getting giddy. I've had better days. I desire nothing more than to refresh myself with a cool swim in a pool of unconsciousness. Instead, I grip my teeth against the stabbing pain and slowly force myself up. I have miles to go before I sleep. Miles and Bullfinch. That's a great shot. That's actually used in one of the back covers. I think one of the back pages. Like a grotesque parody of life I haltingly shambled forward. A barely living scarecrow on a mission of retribution. Does it take minutes, hours, or days before I finally spy my quarry? Who can say? I only know that I eventually do. No, leave me alone. This isn't fair. I was willing to make a deal. I would have paid a significant price for my crimes. There was no sane reason for you to hunt me down. I'm no animal. I'm a man. I can't help the way I am. It isn't my fault. I need help, understanding, treatment, not punishment. All those lines. Oh God, I never meant to hurt anyone. It isn't fair. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. This is the fierce monster that I stalk. This terrible creature which I raised to such grand dimensions within my mind. He hardly seems worth the effort. He's nothing more than a rabid dog, beaten and cowering. He is as terrified, as helpless, and as innocent as a child. Maybe it is completely unfair. Maybe he does deserve mercy far more than vengeance. Maybe I really should let him live. Yeah, right. It's fantastic. I use this for the cover of today's episode. Yeah, right. I love that. He can rationalize all he wants, but hell no. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it. If you guys want to discuss a little of the Flash debacle, let me know. All right, guys, let me go here. Pull back a little there. Okay. Let me get some comments here, guys. Sleeping psychopathy. Hey, I'm in the mood to learn something. I think I want an audiobook now. An audiobook of what? The darks are almost Gene Colan dark. I mean, Gene Colan, I'm not crazy about his anatomy at times, but the shadows at times were great. They definitely were. I've seen some of his younger work also. I think someone on X that I follow posts some of his romance comics, which is very different than what he ended up doing. I think he got way too busy into this foggy, shadows and bodies and more faces, and a little strange. John says that little guy is pretty tough. Yep. Fury's no pushover. No, I love the way DeFalco wrote that. Boombots says, does Wolverine hunt the guilty to stop them or because he needs to hunt? What would he do without the guilty to hunt? He touches upon that here, DeFalco. Maybe DeFalco is asking himself the same thing there. in terms of that kind of character in the Marvel universe among superheroes who would never do what he does. It's an interesting questions to ask. You know, definitive answers. Who knows? Maybe they don't want to get to those definitive answers. They want to keep asking them those questions. But it's interesting to see Wolverine in this light, in this story, with this kind of real life scumbags. Thanks, Beaner guys. And if you haven't backed Pigman, consider backing it. It's at Fund My Comic. Check it out, guys. I have a 9-page preview. You can see this, and it'll be remastered by the time it hits you. I have a number of rewards here, guys. I got 5 different covers. I keep getting these broken images here on this campaign. I try to fix them, and some of them are just unfixable, it seems like. Yes, he does. Comic books includes Wolverine fights monsters in human flesh. Absolutely. That's what the guy was, and I love that ending. He's like, you know what? Should have let him go. He goes, yeah, right. Boom. Tears him apart, as he should be. Just destroys him. This is the most popular cover here, guys. Pigman in war paint, Jihadist blood. That's my latest cover. I got some more rewards in mind as I go along. The end of June, early July is when I believe I'm gonna. Thanks. It's going well, John. Just thinking in terms of what to add. Because when I go through all these things, I got 2 full issues to go through. But the whole point to me is what to add and how to make it seamless. That's the one I really have to bear down. But yeah, it's going well. Thanks for asking, man. That and also the current project I'm working on, which the Blue Flame. Hey, Blue Flame. I never really liked DeFalco's writing. I like his Spider Girl, but this looks really good. Yeah, it's very it's unlike him, to be blunt. Very, very surprised at his willingness to take on that subject the way he did, to make it also real, a real serious battle between Nick Fury and Wolverine at that point. Nick is fighting for duty for the U.S. government, trying to keep that guy, protect that guy. That's what he's fighting for. He's not fighting for righteousness at that point. That's what Wolverine's fighting for. Even no matter what he tells himself, it's the right thing to do. Ultimately, in the end, you got to put down that mad dog. You got to put him down. You have to. There's no other way. He can't get free. And Wolverine's not going to pay for that. You know that Nick Fury is not going to go hunt him down and try to make him pay for that. The way this is written, he's going to say, all right. Because a part of Nick Fury wants to tear him apart as well. But he's a company man. He's a government guy. He's an agent. He's directed by scum in a lot of ways. But he made his choice. And Wolverine made his choice. And it was the right one. And Tom DeValco, clearly, no matter what he thought, no matter how he tried to end it there, I love when he finished it. Yeah, right. I think it's the 3rd time he says that in the story, if not 4th. But yeah, guys, just interesting stuff, man. You guys got any more comments? Let me know. If you could back Pigman, I would really appreciate it, guys. Takes on a real world enemy, the Islamic Jihad, Islam's true believers, vicious scum. You can't make up savages like this. You really can't. I was thinking the same thing that Miller was thinking post 9/11. I think he even was explicit about it. You can't make up these kind of savages, the heinous things they do, the obscene, things they do to innocence. And just to let you know, also tonight they're gonna release the weekly body toll on jihad. Last week was 576, guys. Last week's tally was 576 human beings talked by killed by a jihad. So yeah, guys, as Comic Books News says, let's talk Flash, Flash trash. Absolutely. Um, I got a few things coming here. Astute observers noticed that Matt Barr's cover for the Mighty Golden Patriot has not been released, leading. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. What's this? Speak of the Devil. Comic books in cahoots. Comics K Drama says astute observers noticed that Matt Barr's cover for the Mighty Golden Patriot has not been released, leading to a wave of harsh critiques of the cover. Barr explains what he believes happened. Let's see what the madman believes happened. Transylvania Jack says, waste of paper and ink, Matt Barr. Okay. My cover wasn't used, ... because Flash wasn't happy with the colors. He got several people to color it and nobody could nail it. I didn't hear about this until the day before. At first, I was told my cover wouldn't be used because of printing cost. Then I was told he was never happy with the colors. Then I saw he had an earlier version of the line art colored, so it wasn't even the right file anyways. If I was told he couldn't find a colorist, I'd have colored it myself. I didn't hear shit until the other day. Lack of communication and lack of any artist review. And I've caught the line art being wrong and I could have colored it. Basic shit. What does this mean when they bring it up here? What's the point here? Is something hidden in there? Is that why? He had that janky hand here. Was that removed? Was that changed? I think it was changed, wasn't it, guys? Remember that really shitty hand that Barr drew? That's interesting. So what's going on here? People are... Dick Masterson says, fucking brutal, dude. Eric really working for that 10% or whatever it is at Ripascent. How's the story, by the way? Is it good? Does it even exist? Haven't heard. It's a bet. If it hits 200,000 deal, are you confident? Yeah, people are ripping them. Typically, your first day sales equal a third or more of your total sales. If that's true, YF's campaign might struggle to hit its goal. You're in trouble. This guy put in the work also. Bro, I did over 30,000 on my last day. Hardworking artists using 3D assets and pretend it is art. Man. Yeah. Huh. Kay says, Kay, I didn't get the notification. I failed on this one, damn it. You didn't fail, Katie. You just didn't get the notification. We know you put in the work, man. We know it. How about, by the way, Art, who's in the chat usually, notes this. He goes, word on the street is that Zorro comic by Alex Toth is getting a new printing with new colors and letters. Been wanting more of his work since Bosch Fawson holds him in such high esteem. Crowdfunded deluxe hardcover, I believe. That is awesome to hear, man. That is awesome to hear. So, and I want a few things here. There was something here about the retard of Renowned Zero. Sturgis said something about art is subjective, and some other guy said that. I believe some other guy said it actually in his thread. And my thinking on that is always this. I said, it's one thing for dishonest idiots to burp out that art is subjective, but artists who work to meet artistic standards that are hard to come by and who burp out that nonsense is annoying as hell. Not everyone can be artists and not anything is art. There are standards. There are standards. I mean, that's it. You know, it's stupid to think otherwise. Here's one of the pages from Pigman, the original art of which is available, guys. This, I was thinking in terms of, if you notice, there's like a big X across this page. The design work, you see that? The big bad terrorists, right? Become tiny the bigger Pigman gets. Comes in there. Is about to crush them. The guy screams Allahu Akbar. And you know, you can see what happens after that panel in the book. And it is in color. That's just the original art. Yeah, here. So Renowned Zero said, he goes, Pigman, #1 by the Bosch Fawson, which is grifting trash versus the Mighty Golden Patriot created out of actual passion for the medium. Guys, a drunkard idiot, like, you know, passion. Cashin. It's cashing. He's cashing in on his audience. on his 500,000 subscribers. That's what's happening here. There's no art here. It's just a grifter cashing in. Yellow cash. Pigman number one created out of circle jerking the kings versus not kissing the ring of the throat goat and getting real support. Oh yeah, real support by guys with combined. They probably have a few million, subscribers from Critical Drinker to Nerdrotic to Average July to all these guys to Yellow Flash. Probably a few million at least. Look what he's able to muster. This is I love it because, again, it is truly, I believe, the end of this idea that YouTubers first, which is what they are, they're YouTubers first, can create art. Comic books, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, would like to believe they are art. It is art. And it has to be good. Not all comics are art, clearly. But it has to be good. It has to be telling a story. It has to be something besides this thing that these pigs who have 500,000 followers because of trashing bad comics and think they can create good comics. No, your comics are worse than the ones that you trashed over the years. Far worse. So I just added this. I said, those with actual passion for the medium of comics leads them to make comics when they're young, broke, without opportunities or audience. Unlike Average July and Yellow Trash, who cash in on subscribers that they collected by trashing shit comics and then produce shit comics. That's what's going on here. John, I reposted this. John Miller says, here's the Yellow Trash launch. It's hilarious. I mean, it really bombed. I said, before Isom came out, Average July talked about Isom fans, quote unquote, which is stupid and presumptuous. And the same shit is happening with Yellow Shit's comic, with the same idiots pretending to be fans of an unread comic. Fans need to be earned. Those of you who have not read Pigman, you might like the idea, but you can't legitimately say you're a fan of Pigman. Maybe you can even say you're a fan of the idea, but that's not enough. You have to read it, actually. Those who have read it could be fans. But until you read it, until you know what it actually is as a story, there's no fans. I remember, Eric talking about we have to respect our fans. The Rippaverse's fans will be respected. Before even comic came out, it's like, what are you talking about, man? And then the Rippaverse ethics, nowhere in there does it say make great comics. Be great, but not make great comics. Also, I often reshare Ethan's post because, again, I'm not sure enough people do it. We take it for granted, the fact that he has a larger audience than ours, but every little thing helps. I think it's always worth it. Also, fellow kings like Eric Weathers and Graham Nolan. It's always good. But yeah, guys, if you have any commentary on what's going on with that, I would love to hear it because it is hilarious. And again, here's Elliot Rodriguez, who'll be launching soon his Ominous. Looks really good, man. Looks really fun. Cool guy. He had me on. Check out my interview with him. Well, more of a discussion where I answered a number of questions. But yeah, guys, I'll just leave it here. Okay, yeah, this one guy also. A Riptard says his handle is anti-woke books. Okay. The art on Pigman is ridiculously bad. It looks like the comics that a 9-year-old would draw. Absolute embarrassment. And I say from a Riptard, that's a hell of a compliment. It's true. It is a truly hell of a compliment. It's interesting also. Art says, man, these people, I just signed up to be notified when this campaign launches. Now I wish I hadn't. And then Diana, a friend, posts this. I think this is the least of it though, because this is the one that I still have trouble with in terms of coloring. I gotta work it out, but I like the setup. I just gotta work out the color better. I said that from a day one. That's just the way it is. Something is it take a little longer to get right. But yeah, guys. So any commentary, guys? Go for it, man. The Blue Flame. I'd love to see your take on Wolverine. That Wolverine in Afghanistan sounds deadly. It sure does, man. I've drawn Wolverine. I enjoy drawing the character. I think he's a great character. Visually, yes, well written. I mean, he's again, he's one of the great modern superheroes. One of the great characters. Him, Punisher. We know of all the classics, but these guys came later. You know, decades later, and they have stood the test of time. They've been abused and used and reused and, fucked around with. But when they're good, they're really, really good, like it was in this. Um, I will post something at one point, Blue Flame. Yeah, I made drawings of Wolverine. Comic Books in Cahoots says Matt Barr had been the Daffy Duck of independent comics. I mean, he's a character, man. He's a fucked up guy too. He cannot help himself. He has like Wolverine has a berserker rage. He has the retarded rage. Matt Barr. He can't help himself. He's that stupid. He cannot help himself from saying these horrific things about Ethan's wife and so on. He can't. There's no edit in his mind. He's that retarded. He has, again, retarded rage. He just can't help it. JEC says Matt Barr's cover looks like someone with a head injury. True, it really does. I mean, look, man, guys, it's interesting. If you know my art, you know I don't busy things up. I try to cut it to the bone. Try to keep it direct, simple. Some things you can't. You can't help it. You got to make. You can't cut corners at sometimes buildings and whatnot and so on. But when it's too busy, Ethan, for instance, he's an incredibly detailed artist, but you can still distinguish who from who, what from what, and so on. This guy, Matt Barr, I saw some images from that rock and roll ninja thing that looks really bad. That the story sounds retarded. I think it's your boy Zach thought of it. Not impressed, man. I mean, not impressed at all. Your boy Zach, I mean, some of his commentary also. I agree with it, and then some of them I just don't. I think there's something that Ethan, says that he's ahead of the curve, and I think he's doing his own thing now. I think he's reacting to the audience in a negative way. People have audience capture. He has like the opposite. It seems like it's a reaction to the audience to the point of alienating them for no reason. This idea that he's this intellectual who's figuring these things out and saying catching things before everyone else does, in some ways, sure. But we were all thinking the reason why he took off, guys, was because he articulated on a stream on YouTube what a lot of us thought. It wasn't that he was saying something revolutionary that no one thought, or else he wouldn't have taken off. So there was already there this understanding that we understood. We stopped buying this shit because of that. He stopped buying it because of that. So what he said, we more or less agreed with. And then I think he has a bad attitude about certain things, where he's unlistenable. He's become unlistenable. I can't listen. Plus, he has that voice, man. I just can't do it. And yeah, personal stuff, sure. He trashed Pigman's sight unseen, unread, called it stupid. And I think it has something to do with the fact that he knocked up a Muslim woman and has a Muslim daughter that he walks around with who has a headscarf. Why is he doing that? I don't know. Why would he let his daughter wear a headscarf in America? I don't know. But that's something I think that has to deal with, and he was stupid about. So, of course, I get the brunt of it. But he wasn't willing to even consider looking at Pigman. So I dismissed him at that point. I said, oh, okay. I suppose a lover of comics and trashes the Zeros for not reading the things that they trash or watching the movies that they trash. And here he goes, trashing my comic site unread. All right. I'll remember that, Zach. That's all. The Blue Flame says it's not a good cover by any stretch of imagination. Yep, it's not. It's busy work. And I think Rock and Roll Ninja was black and white, which did it no favors because again, it's busy for busy's sake. It seems like that's what it comes off like. JEC said, "I want that Toth Zora reprint." Me too. I have a few. I have 2 copies of it. I have a digital copy of it, and it's interesting because Toth was working with Disney at that time, and he was adapting from I think it's TV series that they had, and they wanted him to basically adapt to the series almost like as a Bible. And he goes, "Yeah, but this is a different form. It's a different medium. I can cut, I can edit, I can economize," and they wouldn't go for it. And after a while, he was like, "What the hell, man? I'm not here. I'm not a transcriber. I want to make the story based on that, but I wanted to, make a complete transcription of that visually and text." So, but by the end, he said he was really pissed off, and he, as he put it, like I don't know if he put it hacked it up, but you still look at it, it's still damn good. Even his hackery, quote unquote, is still better than most. Like John Bosino, what I said before, even his quote unquote hackery is better than most. So not much different than the beginning of the book. Um, Thanks, Blue Flame. That's a brilliant page. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I do love the way it came out. I believe you're referring to this here. Yeah, very cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, this is the first appearance of Pigman within the comic. You get to see him in almost full silhouette. You don't see his eyes. You don't see anything there. You see a vague American flag. He's pounding on the caves within the caves of Al Qaeda. And then you see the American flag, and you see his symbol. You see his eyes, and then you see his nostrils from the pig mask, and then you see a little more here. And then these guys are scared shit because they're dead. They've heard about the beast, you know. They know about the legend. They know about his pigskin leather. The word's gotten around. The pigskin leather that he wears to exploit the Islamic enemy's bigotry. I'll never tire of saying that. I never will. I never tire of, I smirk at it. I think it's great. Comic Books and Hoot says Sturgis is an absolute moron, almost to the point of it being a disability. He's really stupid, and the arrogance with which he speaks is so embarrassing. He pretends that this is Pigman is a brand new thing, has been around for 20 years. He pretends that I'm a tourist. It's embarrassing and very embarrassing. Bob and Casey, my God, Sturgis is an idiot. Indeed, he is. I mean, he's really, really bad, guys. He's stupid and ugly and fat. My God. It's a bad mix right there. Really bad. The Blue Flame says, haha, Sturgis is a thicko and a retard. He is. JEC, the guy who does 5 videos a day about the live action Snow White isn't a grifter. Is that what Sturgis does? Guys, I mean, look, man. I don't like what Disney's doing to their own characters. I don't like that. But to think that I'm going to watch that, comment on it, why the fuck would I do that? I don't care. Even if you guys, come on. I said, no, thanks, but no thanks. I'm absolutely not going to do that, at all. They do have audience capture. And the worst case was Jeremy Griggs, bitching and moaning like a punk, like a young child in the car. He's not a young child, but the best interpretation of that was ripoff verses where he has him going in there. Oh my God, this is terrible. I left early, and he screams like a girl. It's hilarious. So funny. Flady one, I just feel bad. Dillard hopped in on that project. He seems like an okay guy who could have chosen better. That's for sure, Flady. But it is he has to live with that, man. He fucked up, And again, you can say, well, others would take the opportunity. Sure, I think others would have, but they also had to ask themselves, okay, I'm an artist here. Okay, it's my, I guess, first big project. As far as I know, I don't know for sure, but I think he's been around. But his first high-profile potential project. You got to ask yourself, who the fuck is this guy to write a comic? Who is he? What's his pedigree? What? What does he know about comics? Trashing comics? Okay. And we know, through your boy Zach and stuff, that just because you trash comics doesn't mean you make good comics. It just doesn't. He's in that same category as those guys, I believe. He might make better stuff, maybe. I don't know. I couldn't say. I know that I saw Jawbreakers. I was like, nah. The art was terrible. The story wasn't there. Whatever happened after, I don't know. I think he teamed up with John Malin years ago, but I couldn't do that. Yeah, it's a bad break for Dillard, no doubt. Especially the way it turned out. that first 24 hours to 48 hours, very, very, very important. And this is a big fuck up. Um, Comic Books and Coots, July is 100% undeserved egotism. I like that you put it that way, Comic Books and Coots, because people pretend that it's egoism. You know, it's like, no, there's a healthy ego that where you understand things and you read things and yourself as they are, not better, not worse, as they are. He can't do that. He can't see himself honestly. He just can't. If he were to see himself honestly, I don't know if he could do half the things he does. Sure as hell wouldn't have started a comic book universe. Start with one fucking comic, do the best you can, see if it works, and then. But the hubris, the idea that he's going to come in there and dance on the graves of creators. I mean, guys. And again, also, this thing, guys, also, let's see Yellow Trash still trashing comics on his channel. I saw the guy a few times a few years ago. That was it for me. I was like, this guy sounds drunk and slow. Why would I watch this shit? Is he still reviewing comics? Those of you who may watch his stuff, maybe because of that Star Wars girl, maybe you watch it because of that, because she still pops up on there from what I gather. Why the hell would anyone watch that? And also, does he still trash comics? Or will he, like Eric July, stop trashing comics when his shit comics come out? What timing? What timing? Eric July is trashing comics, right? That's his thing. Until his comic comes out, when he gets rightfully criticized, then he stops trashing comics. Interesting, huh? Blur says, excellent take. Zach isn't special. He's not. He said what we thought, and anyone who loves comics, he said what people who love comics thought. And that's cool. And it was good to see because no one else was doing it, at least to that level back in the day. And I was an avid listener. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his takes. Some stuff I didn't like, the sound quality at times, the burning and stuff. And it's like, okay, some of the commentary. But overall, good. And then I saw his Jawbreakers. He asked people for feedback. I gave him feedback. He never responded. I was like, okay, that's a sign there also. What's that about? Don't ask for feedback if you're not going to respond to it or even mention it. And then, of course, I mentioned Pigman stuff. He trashed it sight unseen. It's like, okay. And I think he also pretended to say, well, I took on this enemy also. Nah, bro. You knocked up a Muslim, have a Muslim daughter, talked about it for some reason. I don't know why he talked about it. And then take Islam on? Please. He didn't do shit on that. Absolutely not. So he had his value. Absolutely did. I wasn't there in the chat. I think JJ Trujillo took a screenshot from 2017. And other people have over the years where I commented on Ethan stuff and on your boy Zach stuff. I was always there. I just, I'm such a loner. I didn't even think that there's this community I can be part of. It's funny. I don't think along those lines, which is why this is all new to me. Having the camaraderie with the Kings and stuff. It's like, it's all new. I do enjoy it, and it's something to get used to, especially with the Talking Heads 10. I never liked that ever. But I'm not going to bitch and moan about it. I can be part of it. This is part of the process. I mean, I have to make my way here. It's cartoonists who become quote unquote YouTubers after the fact, not YouTubers becoming cartoonists. That doesn't happen that way. Okay. JEC says Rock and Roll Ninjas was Zach visiting his daughter in New York and somehow thought CBGBs and punk rock was really hella cool and did a grafted punk rock on the Jawbreakers. Yeah. Nah. I looked at the art. I looked at the write-up. I was like, nah. Even if Chuck Dixon made it readable, not really. JEC says Yellow Flash finds a subject that will get rage clicks. Snow White, Brie Larson, Johnny Depp, and just spams 5 videos a day, gifting off this. So he streams that much. JEC, I wouldn't know that. I think he blocked me also on X. I called him out. I made a drawing, Yellow Flask, to push on, talk up his drunken streams. I mean, the guy is stupid. Insight, they called it. They try to sell him on the represent thing as great insight and storytelling prowess or something they use. I'm like, what? What? Um, JEC, Dillard may be a great guy, but his pages look terrible. It's tough, JEC, man. That's tough, man. I saw that one page of the guy, I guess, before he becomes a yellow patriot, whatever. Pretty bad, man. The face is bad. The arm is all wrong. There's no oomph in the inking, in the finished art. I assume he did the finished art as well. At least, if you got a professional inker, it could have done something. It could have done something. It's tough, man. That's a tough thing. And, he did that a few years ago. Ethan was willing to tell. You should appreciate that. Whenever someone is willing to tell you these hard truths, you should appreciate them, guys. I don't give a shit who you are. You have to say, okay, I don't like what I'm hearing. It's unfortunate, but God damn it, this guy's a professional. I know he's good. I don't think he's saying it just to say it to hurt me. Let me consider it. Instead, no, it looks great. All right. Look what happened. And guys, again, I really believe this is the end of the hype, the BS bullshit hype of the YouTuber comics, quote unquote. Again, these guys don't belong here in this space. They don't. They're assholes who only know to trash shit. Have you ever seen these guys? I'm not gonna. I guess I gotta put myself in here, but I talk about the comics here that I love. I review a number of them. I reviewed this one, the Wolverine. I go through it. I talk a little about why I like it and so on. I've not seen that from those guys. I don't know if they've done it. I used to see Zach. I think sometimes review good comics they liked and was positive about it. Which is good. It's worth doing. You gotta balance it out. You gotta have the love of comics to bring to it. I don't know if these guys love comics. I don't think they do actually. I think there's truth in this idea that they go out there to tear shit down as an end in itself at this point. I believe that is the case. There's good stuff sometimes that these terrible studios are making. We should acknowledge that. The Daredevil show on Disney Plus was good. Wasn't great. It was good. I liked it. I want to see where they go in season 2. I don't think the guys will admit that. I don't think they'll let it penetrate. They'll have to say, "Oh yeah, they mentioned Miss Marvel." If anyone was gonna hate the show, look at me. They mentioned Miss Marvel 4 fucking times in episode 5. They show her nice, sweet Muslim father in there. It's disgusting, and I hated it. But I'm like, okay, move on, and they moved on. There was no more mention of that family or anything next few episodes. So, and seeing the same actors, it's important. Those guys did a kick-ass job in that first series on Netflix. And without them, I think that this would have failed. I think they lifted it better than it would have been. And at least Feige had the sense to fire the showrunners and directors of the first iteration of this Born Again thing. And they brought new people with new episodes. I think they canned like 8 episodes, threw them out, and then made new ones. So there was a turn. They had to make it better. Comic Books and Coots says, I hope this debacle keeps artists from working for free for internet influencers. My God, absolutely. I hope so too, Comic Books and Coots. Oh man, it's a terrible story. It really is. And he fucked up Dillard. Bad choice that he made. It's a bad guy. Al Nixon. Hey, Al. Beautiful page, Bosch. Nice job. Thank you, Al. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. JEC says, I unsubbed from Yellow Flash a while ago. He would do comic news sometimes if Marvel or DC did something cringy, but he wasn't doing any comic reviews that I remember. Okay. I imagine he wasn't, and I imagine the other guys aren't too. Again, guys, this is a medium that we love. Love this medium. And when I see shit, I will absolutely trash it. Absolutely. Rightfully so. But I'm not gonna read shit and review it. I'm not gonna read Rob Liefeld comics and oh my god, no, it's shit. Beforehand, I know it is. So why the hell would I waste my time and yours? I want to read great stuff here, and then of course be critical of certain things. Now, if some things are really highly regarded and they're shit, I might do that. It's like, okay, what the hell? That's not true. Let me explain why. But outside of that, I want to read these things that I love, and I want to remind myself why I love them. And sometimes as I'm reviewing them, I have new insights, and especially as I create comics, I bring that to that as well. There's a certain time when you're making comics, when you're first making them, where you cannot help but overanalyze the comics, but it gets to a certain point where you pass that stage, and you just start appreciating them for what they are, instead of trying to say, "Oh, I would have done this, this, this." You just appreciate it. Say, "Oh man," and it is a process. At first, you got to resist it. You want to, oh, this. Just appreciate great comics, and maybe at certain times if you want to just analyze it, fine. But it takes a little while to get through that stage. Um, Mikey gets, hey Mikey, like I said, Bosh, you have the biggest balls in CG. Other people don't get whacked for their art. I appreciate it, Mikey. Thank you very much, man. Um, People have to, I guess, inform Sturgis and the other idiots trashing me for grifting. It's like, grifting, guys. You know, there are easier ways to grift. Look at the zeros. You know, none of them would draw Muhammad. There's a price to pay for that. You know, there's a price to pay for that. You don't do that as a lark. Draw Muhammad and drawing against Islamic Jihad and making thousands of political cartoons against Islamic Jihad for years. You don't do that if it's grift. Now, I love making money and I want to make a lot of money. I love it. I love money. I love earning it. But to do it dishonestly, knowing that I'm misleading you guys and being dishonest about what I actually believe, that's what they're doing. They're doing that. And they are the grifters. Those who project that grifter onto others more than anyone else are the biggest grifters. That's what they are. They're unwatchable, those guys. Unwatchable. And only a few years ago, I sent them, links. Hey, check this out. I know that Nerdrotic got my comics, Table for One, Pigman Comics. I know he did because Dave Landau of Normal World, who has bought a few of my things, I asked him, he knew them personally. I asked him if he can give it to Quarter Black Garrett and Nerdrotic, and they have them. So that tells me right there that without responding to me, also the guys at the Lotus Eaters in England, they supposedly love comics and they love, taking on certain things, and they have it. They never reviewed it, never mentioned that they got it. One of their handlers mentioned that they did get it, so I know that they have it. The point is, you love comics, you're a culture warrior, you claim to be, and you're going to ignore me. Not good, man. I'm like, okay, I think I know what you're about. I don't think you're a culture warrior, an actual one. There is a culture war going on. I think Ripoff Verse denies it. He's wrong about that. There is a culture war going on. It is being fought by one side, by the left, by Muslims. They want to Islamize everything Muslims. They want to communize everything leftists. And we are here sitting fucking around and pretending it's not. No, there is one going on. And those pretending to take it on, you know who they are when you find out that, oh, they don't actually give a shit about this. They're not serious about this. It's a serious thing that's going on. I mean, we have these, things that we find precious, these characters, these icons, and they're being dragged through the mud by these rats. And if you want to take them on, you don't take them on by just trashing shit that you don't like. That's a waste. They are doing nothing to make things better. Zero. Nothing. So thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it. JEC says there were other guys trashing SJW comics in like 2017, Captain Cummings and a few others, but Zach was the funniest and wittiest at the time. Yeah, he was the best of those guys. Captain Cummings. Who else? Another guy. They're the kind of annoying Christians like JDA who push it onto others. And then there was this other guy. I remember this other guy. I forgot his name. Comic something. He was shoving this idea. It's like Reacher, that show Reacher, guys. It's good. The guy's an imbecile, the actor. He really is. He feels the need to tell us that he thinks about this and that politics, and Trump is like, yeah, shut up and whatever. It's still good, the show, by the way. But someone dismissed it. One of those guys, the Christian guys, he said, he's a fornicator. That's it. Can't watch it. I don't recommend it. It's like, what? What? Um, that guy is stuck on his religiosity. Fornicator is, and he's not married, and he's having sex with women. He's a loner. He's a guy, a wanderer. That's the way it is. I mean, that's just the way it is. So no big deal. But that's an imposition. It's like me. I don't impose my atheism on people's, Catholicism or their Christianity. I don't do that. I don't tell people, hey, you must be this. No, you be who you are. That's it. Unlike Jason Whitlock, who keeps saying, you better submit to all, I said Allah, but you better submit to Jesus, and that's all you got to do. And you better do. It's like, shut the fuck up, you born again Christian. Just because you feel guilt about not being a great Christian for decades until now, allegedly, who gives a shit? You can't judge us for not doing that. You do that. Good, good for you. But when they make it into an imposition, like, they want to moralize on you, I don't like that shit at all. And that's what I believe one of the guys, at least, I forgot his name. I forgot both of those names, but that's what I was getting at. One second, guys. Let me read a few more comments here, guys. I do appreciate your presence here, guys. Thank you very much. JEC says, Yellow Flash does a Saturday stream, but just does multiple short videos daily the rest of the week. Okay, that's what he does. So his main thing is on a Saturday stream. Okay. That's why I think Ethan made his main trash cast on Saturday, at least when he can do it, to try to hit it. And look, man, something Ethan said also the other day. He calls it, well, it's petty. It's not petty. These are bad guys shoving themselves into a space that they don't belong in. I'm glad, I am very happy that this shit bombed, because it will not encourage other rats to come into this field and pretend that they can compete with actual artists. I was watching Katie Dade's channel the other day, and she had a little clip of Az and Eric July, where Nerdrotic sent a super chat mentioning his comic. Guys, can you imagine? Nerdrotic's comic. It's like, where were you? If you loved comics, you would have been making them until now for decades. You would have, if you loved them. Anyway, he mentioned something, and then Eric July says something along the lines of, I shit out 10,000 copies of Isom. You can do that too. I shit him out. No one talks about their comics like that. We love our comics. All the Kings, we love our own comics. We wouldn't do them otherwise. You don't call it shit. You don't call your own comics shit. People who love your comics don't call them shit. This guy calls his shit. At least he's telling us what he actually believes them to be, but still, it's ridiculous. JEC, Yellow Flask, hello, a good one, yeah. I drew the flask with Yellow Flask on it. And Comic Books and Who says, Zach is an honest reviewer. I remember that, yeah. Yeah, he was, if he liked it, he liked it. If he didn't, he didn't. And that was good. And sometimes, if I remember correctly, I might be wrong, but I think he read them as he streamed them sometimes, like new comics. So it was a natural, honest reaction, a long line with us as we were watching. Boombot says, if Yellow Gash would have incorporated Ethan's advice, went with Ethan's cover, and had kept the goodwill of CG, he and Diller would maybe be on the way to $1 million, a lessening betrayal. Absolutely true. Not sure that much, but I think clearly would have been better than what it is right now, because right now he's in trouble. Whatever designs he had, they're crashing down, and it's going to be interesting to see how they fake it, because there's one thing about Ethan, a difference in those guys. Ethan is going to send it all out there, like it or hate it. It's going to be good, bad, and ugly. These guys will lie to their audience. They will lie about what they actually feel, and they will come out in certain ways at times, and they will talk about Ethan without talking about Ethan. They'll use certain things. Certain individuals just say it, bitch. Just say it. There's a difference there, a dishonesty that is not on this side. JAC says, how many pages did Dillard do for free? What's the page count on Flash's book? I don't know, JAC. I don't know. JEC says, Sargon at the Lotus Eaters is more of a Warhammer 30K nerd. Not sure he's really... No, it was the two other guys. They do a comics corner, JEC. They do a comics corner, and I liked some of their commentary on comics, and I sent them physical copies of Pigman, Tip of One. They seemed interested, and then I gotta say I hated their response to October 7th. They were the typical bullshit right-wingers who pretend that, oh, that has nothing to do with us. Yeah, the same enemy who killed all those Israelis are the ones killing Europeans across Europe, who are killing non-devout Muslims across the Islamic world, and so on. It's the same fucking enemy, and they try to separate it because of the Jews. There is a growing anti-Semitism against those who are perceived to be on the right, but I gotta say, racism is a collectivist thing. It's not an individual rights thing. It's not a liberty thing. It's a collectivist thing. So these guys are, anyone who's a racist to certain groups is not, who hates certain groups, all of those in that group, they are collectivists and they belong on the left. That's why I resent the idea that, and these guys, they're giving the left fuel to continue the lie that Hitler was a rightist. Hitler was a leftist. He was a National Socialist. But these idiots on the right, quote unquote, are making the case for the left's big lie, which is just, it's disgusting. And keep in mind also, guys, every single rat who had a horrific response to October 7th, as in, they deserve it somehow, right, has been also quiet about Islam and what jihad does. No criticism for Islam and Muslims, Islamic world, zero. None whatsoever. Bought and sold these rats, from Tucker Carlson to Candace Owens to all these other pieces of shit. And I believe the Lotus Eaters fell into that. Maybe not to that extreme, maybe not, but I haven't watched them since. I called them out publicly on X. I said, I used to enjoy you guys, and you just revealed yourselves here. You couldn't have the decency to say, okay, that's a horrific attack, and let Israel do whatever it needs to do to stop those things from happening. Instead, they said, they didn't say anything, actually. That was the whole point. They didn't say anything, and these big mouths who spoke about everything, 5 or 6 days went by, then they had this reluctant thing like, okay, guys, here's what we're going to say about it. And I was like, fuck you, man. Fuck you. I lost respect to them, so. Anyway, it's not even about this idea like, I hate both sides. Lying fuck. Lying fuck. You cannot hate the savages and their victims. You can't do that. You can't hate those who are, rationally responding to an atrocity and those who commit the atrocity. It's a big fucking lie. I never heard you say that on 9/11. I hate both of us and those who attacked us. America and Al-Qaeda, same shit. Complete lie. So JAC says Trashcast is called Trashcast because Yellow Flash's Saturday stream is called Flashcast. Exactly. Flash kicking him off his stream is what what got EVS off to start Trash. Yes, I remember that, JAC. And that's when I really got interested in Ethan's channel. I used to, lurk and here and there. But when Ethan came out hard against Isom, because I read Isom, did not like it, but didn't have any real platform or anything. I just said, it's mediocre. That was it. I didn't think much of it. I didn't have something to go out there and get passionate about hating it. No, it just was mediocre. And then when Ethan came out, and there's something to be said also about those who did say they liked it when I don't think they did. But they wanted to be good soldiers for the movement and whatnot, and but again, you cannot have mediocrities coming in here. Think about this, guys. What happens to the indie movement if individuals, a large number of individuals, which did with Isom, read that and said, what the fuck is this shit? Indie comics suck. It's unfair. It's not true. But some people who didn't know better did think that. And the same with this. I'm glad it stopped cold though with Isom, because it didn't happen here. With meaning, people come in here. Okay, I want to read an indie comic. That Golden Patriot. Okay, what the fuck is this? And use that as a basis for never reading comics again, or never reading independent comics again. It's not a good thing. It's a bad thing to have rats like that dirtying up the waters here, because you want it to be a healthy movement. You want it to be good for yourself and for others. You want it to be a healthy alternative to the shit that's being produced by the mainstream. And when you have shit like this, it's not good. It's not good at all. It hurts the movement. It hurts the quality and what people expect. If that's good comics, what the fuck is the idea? Comic books in which Ripa does shit out comics product. He does. He does. They don't respect craftsmanship and don't understand art. They don't. They don't give a shit for it. It's a grift. It is. And you understand two things I think that happened in the last year with, I think, snapped some people out of it. When the Zeros were silent about the quality or lack thereof of Ripaverse comics. Wouldn't say anything about it. Wouldn't talk it up or trash it. Nothing, zero. They were pushing that hard. It should have come, quote unquote, come to Jesus moment, and they said, "All right, guys, I didn't like it. Be honest about it." They would have got some respect. I didn't like it. I hope he does better next time. At least that. Zero, nothing, nothing. How much are they promoting it now? I don't know. That, and then also, I think it happens to be the Snow White thing. For 2, 3 years, they've been ripping it, videos, and then it comes out, they all watch it, and they all have these takes on it. It's like, who the fuck cares, first of all? She's an idiot, that actress. Disney's an idiot for hiring her. We know it's going to be shit. What's the point of going off about it? It doesn't make sense at all. But thanks, guys. I do appreciate your company here. Thank you very much. And again, if you can back Pigman, if you haven't, I would really, really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Here we go, guys. Oh, wow. Yes, I definitely would. Comic books and goods. Bosch, would you ever be interested in doing a Black Sad review? 100%. Love that. I know that there's, I think, 2 new books. Yeah, I saw some hardcovers at the bookstore for it, so I got to get those as well. Would love to do that. Great craftsmanship. Great. And actually, it's funny you mention that, because someone mentioned to me that they might be interested in collaborating with me as a writer for something along those lines, as in animals, to fill the roles of people in the story. And it's interesting, the whole prospect of being hired just as a writer. That could be interesting. Very interesting to me. So yeah, I definitely would do that. It's great art. I don't remember the story too much, I gotta say. I know I liked it, but I know I love the art. I know that. So yeah, guys, check it out. I got 9-page preview. You can get a good idea of what it is. I also have my first graphic novel available as part of the campaign. I got sketch covers. I have Pigman commissions, original art pages, Pigman stickers. I have 3 of this image as a sticker, as a print, and as a cover. It happens to be the most popular one here, which is great. I really appreciate it. I do like how this came out. It was like a digital painting that I did a while ago, many years ago, actually. And thank you very much, guys, for your time. Thank you for commentary. I always appreciate it. And I appreciate your support, guys. Thank you very much. Until next time, take care. Be well. Thank you.